Good morning, Western Slope. Happy Tuesday. I'm Dalen Brazelton. Let's talk about your weather. Folks, it's going to be a lovely one for today. However, conditions are going to be a little bit on the cooler side as that colder air mass has pushed through and it's created some very freezing conditions. For the overnight hours, we're hanging out with, of course, Halloween being at the end of the week, and then freeze watches are taking us back into below freezing temperatures tonight. Meanwhile, temperatures as a whole just hanging out below freezing at this point in time. We're significantly below average for both the highs and the lows. Fun fact, the last time that we saw temperatures this cold was all the way back in 2020 when we broke a record, because last night we saw 28 degrees. So for the last 5 years, we have not seen temperatures like this. Now, over the course of the day, we're going to start to see this colder air mass from the north push back up to the north as it kind of follows that upper level system. What that means for us is that by the time tomorrow, well, maybe tomorrow night, we're going to be seeing those temperatures kind of returning back to the averages. Tonight, we're still expected to see below average temperatures, and then the below average temperatures for the south really start to take off, kind of pushing into the front range instead, as that upper level system takes a very interesting path, to say the least, across the country. The western slope, though, expected to stay nice and warm after the fact. Right now, we're seeing 38 degrees in Grand Junction. Below freezing temperatures as well for Paonia, Montrose, and Glade Park. Delta seeing 40 degrees with Nucla just 2 degrees above freezing to kick off the day. For that classroom forecast, that first bell's ringing to 31 degrees, a very chilly start to the day. We're going to see it slowly kind of warm up, but after school activities still hanging out in those mid-50s. Going to be a chilly one for the day. Make sure you're grabbing that jacket, because by the time 8 a.m. is rolling around, we're still seeing below freezing temperatures. Not really getting out of that trend until about 9 o'clock, 40 degrees by 10, and then only seeing 50 degrees by 1 p.m. So comparative to what we've been seeing for the rest of the week and really the rest of the month, this is significantly different for temperature, but clear skies are expected. For that dog walking forecast, we got Frankie hanging out with us today, and it's going to be an interesting one to take your dog out for a walk. If you're maybe as small as Frankie, consider putting on one of those little sweaters, because 30 degrees at 7 a.m., only getting up to those mid-40s by 11 o'clock, and then clear skies expected all day long. The good news is we're not seeing any of those crazy high wind speeds compared to yesterday, just about 6 miles an hour for the morning hours. Now, freeze warnings are in effect for the region, and we're going to see this downgraded at 9 a.m. to a freeze watch. This is all the way from the Utah border to Glenwood Springs and then down to Montrose. We're also seeing this in a couple of other areas, as well as some fire weather warnings. You can still see kind of that pink behind me in central Colorado as well. So a lot of interesting things developing. But folks, we're just 3 days away from Halloween. Hopefully you guys are just as excited as I am, because it's going to be a beautiful day here. We're already starting to see some overnight lows kind of hanging out in the upper 30s, but on average we're seeing about 62 degrees for that day. So not a whole lot of wind speeds as well. I know some people with their very complex costumes always love to hear that. Not going to be whipping around too terribly much, although you may want to grab a little bit of a coat on your way out, because it's going to be a chilly Halloween night, to say the least. As we take a look ahead, though, at that Discovery Auto Group 7-day forecast, those mid-50s are turning back up to 60s, and then we're getting out of below freezing temperatures tomorrow night. Tonight we may not be so lucky. A little bit of extra cloud coverage expected for Halloween, and then we're off to the races from there, folks. Montrose slightly cooler, 50 degrees and barely at that. Overnight lows in the upper 20s, and then slowly but surely warming up until we get to Thursday, and then kind of plateauing up through Halloween into the weekend.